Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
You're good?
I'm good.
Right. I must say you deserve the winning over whatever it is.
Thank you.
So, for the benefit of my viewer, maybe he's watching you for the very first time, and despite even the fact that you're kind of a celebrity out there, who is Vivian?
Okay, Vivian Nyagudi is a model, a student, and a responsible person. I'm
Responsible
22,
in terms of?
everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 22 years of age. I'm a Luo and I'm a Kenyan.
Right.
Yeah.
Model, student,
Student.
and a responsible person.
Yeah.
I'm interested in with the student part of it. What do you study exactly?
Okay, I study Bachelor in BCom. Yes.
Mm-hmm. A Technical University of Mombasa.
Yes.
Which year?
Third year.
Third year.
Yes.
Very well. Now, how did you get about becoming the Miss TUM 2020?
2021.
2021, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay, having the crown is quite hard because it needs a lot. You have to be aggressive, you have to be patient. Another thing, you have to get the skills of being a model. And least of all, you have to know who you are competing with,
Right.
their weaknesses and their strengths.
Mhm.
And as for me, first, before knowing my competitor's weakness, I have to know what I know how to do most.
Right.
Yes.
People think modeling is just walking around the runway. Is that the case?
No, modeling entails a lot. It's not all about walking. It needs elegancy, it needs the wit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very true. You'll be explaining to us your journey, how you began realizing that you can do modeling, and how you get to become the Miss Technical University of Mombasa 2021. And that is what she is putting on. You told me the name of that ribbon, whatever?
Sash. It's called sash.
Sash.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, we are trying to make our ladies out there and the young girls realize and know their worth. When we are talking about knowing your worth as a person, what is it?
Okay, I can explain it this way. Knowing your worth means you know the measures, the internal measures of who you are without realizing what people say about you or what people think about you.
So it's a one-self thing
Yes.
from inside?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know who you are without people.
Do you want to tell me that people out there who don't know who they are?
Yes, yes. There are some people who use others' perspective to define who they are.
Okay.
Yes.
For instance?
For instance, if I have a boyfriend, that's the case. I want to do something that my boyfriends like, not what I want, you see.
So that means you don't know your worth.
You don't know who you are, you don't know what you want.
Okay. Now, if somebody knows what he or she is,
Yes.
then do we say like the person knows his what?
Yes. When you know what you want, when you know what you are, you should be able to say no. You should be able to define your self-worth. You should be able to know what is right and what is wrong.
Okay.
Yes, you should not just go with people's perspective of whom you are supposed to be. Yes.
Does knowing your worth come with a certain age?
No.
Do you want to tell me an 18-year-old, a 17 and a 13-year-old girl out there can know her what?
Yes.
How possible is it?
Okay, when I say someone to know the worth, it doesn't come with any reason of you having a class or being educated. Yes. When I say that, I mean you should be able to realize yourself everywhere you are, everything you want. Yeah.
Well, I chose this topic simply because we need to help our young ladies who are growing up with the kind of society that we have, also in the kind of community that we live inside. And time and again, you'll hear that people say that most of the youths, particularly those who are growing up, they kind of have a very decayed moral side of you, simply because they do not even realize themselves in the first place. And looking at the young that are growing up right currently, what do you feel makes them to not know their worth?
They believe in people's perspective. They want to impress the environment.
Come on, who doesn't want to impress anyone?
Why should you impress the environment, yet you yourself, you cannot impress yourself? It doesn't even make sense. You have to impress yourself so that the environment should go with your impression of who you are. If you can't impress yourself, then that means you're not worth yourself.
This impressing myself you're talking about, does it mean that I should not do stuff that pleases somebody, or what do you
Yes,
mean?
that is what I mean. Do what you think is right on your own way. Do not do something because your parents like that or because your friends like that. Do something that you know can give you something good, can be of importance. Yeah.
If this thing I'm supposed to do that you say pleases me, and supposing to me it's good and to the other people out there it's bad, and they begin trying to caution me or tell me, you know, it's better if you conduct yourself this way, and I veer out from the road and say, let me do what they now say. Is that wrong? And does that mean that I now begin not knowing my worth?
When someone knows her worth or his worth, you are enabled to know, when I do this, it's right. When I do this, it's wrong. You cannot do something wrong claiming that you know your worth. You see, once you know your worth, you're supposed to be interacting healthy-wise. Yeah.
Right. So you want to tell me there is also healthiness in interaction?
Yes.
Okay. Now, talking about this knowing our worth as people who are growing up, particularly the ladies, I read somewhere where they're mentioning that the most part that most of our young adults that are growing up that they miss is that they compare themselves to people, and that is a clear indication that they do not know their worth.
Exactly. It's true.
And somebody may think begin to look this from a different point of view. We have role models out there. We have people who we look upon. If I do what they do, how can that equate to not knowing my worth?
Okay, as a model, let me now speak as a model. You see, there is this perspective that you being a model, you have to be classy, you have to just to be in a class. People are different, you see. You may say, you may just recall, background-wise, my parents cannot get me this. I myself, I'm not in that situation, I'm not in that capable of getting those classy things. You have to relax. Be who you are.
Right.
With time, it will come. You just can't. Here's kuja two once, you see.
Right.
Yes.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Right.
Yes.
Of course. And also we'll be talking about the process at which things come through and how difficult it is for the youths and our different young adults who are growing up. They find it very difficult when they are looking into getting things that they want to get in life. But coming back to this point of comparing, that most people try to compare themselves with others and try to live their lives. How important is it for somebody to live their own life? How is it important?
Living your own life tells a lot more about you. It defines who you are. It brings a very good image of who you are. It defines everything.
Supposing my life is kind of, you know, social class. We come from different social classes, and if I choose to live a life that is mine, maybe mine may be at a lower social class compared to my friends or my colleagues and my comrades, and I begin to ask myself, if I portray my life this way, I may end up being alone.
Okay, you may end up being alone because you are doing something that is not your worth. You see? Yeah.
So the best way is to live your own life.
Live your own life. Just be.
Is that happening out there? Do you think people, particularly those who are growing up, our young girls and boys in campuses, Do they live their lives?
Not all of them. Most live a fake life. Yes.
Why should we even enter into living fake lives? Do you feel like the society, even and the people around us, also judge us to an extent that we do this to kind of avoid the judgment from them?
I may say so, but that's just the same thing that you are discussing about knowing your worth.
Right.
It's just all around.
Right. For instance, if I'm living a fake life, like you've mentioned, and I'm trying to I know I'm living a fake life, but I want to change and begin living my own life. But when I see the people around me, if I tend to live my life, they will not embrace me, they will not take me up as I am, and I choose to stay with my fake life in itself. How effective, or rather, what is the effect with that in my life?
The more you are going to stay who you are or what you want, the more the surrounding will adapt with that situation.
Is that easy? The adaptation, is it easy?
The adaptation will not be easy as a start, but with time, it will just come over. Yes.
You know, we are living in different times here. This is another generation and this is another century.
Yes.
And no one wants to lag behind, you know. We need to trend out there. We need to be talked about out there. And we must live this life the way we think it's better for us. How do we get to balance that kind of mentality now?
Okay. As for me, I may start an example, like how ladies style up.
Right.
You see? In old days, we used to wear this trouser called flare. You know those kind of trousers?
I know them. Right.
It went to an extent where they couldn't be worn anymore. But nowadays, you see, it has been styled up again. Ladies wear them, and it looks so fashionable. You see, that's just the same thing. With time, when you start want to change your life, for a start, it has to be so hard. Challenges every now and then. But with time, the people will adapt with it and will force themselves to do the same. Yes.
Right. Supposing there is somebody who is watching, and let's take, for instance, he or she is in campus. And we know in campus it's where everything happens. And speaking of everything, we also live, we also start knowing about life maybe in the deeper sense in campuses. How can you advise in line with living your life?
Okay, what do you mean?
I mean, like, for example, people who are joining campus,
Yes.
and they are trying now to know how to live, because there is a ground at which somebody begins to be sensible enough to think like an adult and make decisions to themselves.
Okay, I may say, before you changing the perspective of who you are, at least realize what it will become of you, number one, how it will affect you, and how it will be of importance of you.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this question.
Okay.
Between looking at the ladies and the men in different quarters, let's look, for instance, now in campus at which you are, whom do you think fake a lot, and why?
Ladies.
Ladies.
Yes.
Why is it so?
It's all about competition.
With
It's
who
all about-
or from who?
Themselves, among themselves. Yes. Because I came with a classy bag, next time my friend also wants the same bag. So she has to fake her life to get the same bag.
I can't come with a Juala now in campus.
Yes, you can't come with a jewelry, but if you can't afford the bag for 20 shillings, come with it. What's the difference between the classic bag and the 20 shillings bag? What's the difference? Bags zote zitakuwa na kitabu, zote zitakuwa na kalamu. Shida iko wapi?
Okay.
Yes.
And
No.
if you ladies, let me speak to you in capacity as a lady now. Do you feel it's hard for you guys to live your life?
It's not hard. It depends on someone's perspective of what you want to become.
You know, they are afraid of being talked about around the
Why are
corridors.
you afraid? Why are you afraid? What are you afraid of?
You know, I may be seen to be the one behind the calendar, you know. People are moving and soldiering on with other new stuff, trending stuff, you know.
You may be competing with your friend, but your friend is capable of getting the bag. The parents are well off, but your parents are struggling to pay your school fees. Why don't you struggle and learn so that you can make your own money to support your parents and have those classy things? People live differently. Like me, I may say, yes, my parents are struggling, but also I'm struggling to my best to get what I want. Yes.
Right. We'll be coming back now to the point of struggling to get what we want. Some of these ways of struggling to get what we want are not celebratable out there. There is issues about finding sponsors, I don't know what. Are they also part and parcel of knowing your worth? You'll come back to explain me on that. Getting back to our point, you were mentioning here that in as much as you come from a humble background, there is need for you to also struggle and make ends meet to get what you want to be. And talking about the ways of getting what you want and not comparing yourself with people, it brings the questions of these ways. There are so many ways that people can get money through or can get income through to live good lives out there. And in our campuses, there is something happening in line with the issue about getting sponsors, perhaps from the ladies' side, and from the men, I don't know, it's called what? Sugar whatever.
Sugar mama.
Is that one way to get yourself to get what you want, and is it something good to do?
Okay, I may say it's wrong. It's so wrong. But most of the ladies take it as one.
Who cares if at all it's wrong? Who cares? Let's start from there.
Okay, when you start doing something that is wrong and claiming that nobody should care, at least realize where your parents are, what they have done for you, and what will be of them if they realize that you are doing something wrong.
Right.
Yes.
But somebody will say, I'm doing this for myself. This is
Yes,
my life.
you may be doing
Why
that
can't you
for
pambana na
yourself,
hali yako?
But there are challenges. Apart from, yes, we will pambana na hali yetu, yes, it's not bad pambana na hali yetu, but you are ruining our name. Unatuharibia jina. At least do something. Unajua ukifanya, haitasemwa ni wewe, will be included in your mess. Yes.
Right. And you know, why is it so when we get to a point where every single lady, if I may use that word, is trying to kind of find a sponsor out there? Mbona tulifikia hapo?
Because they want to be classy, they want to live a good life, something of that sort. They feel the life that the parents gave them is not good enough for them. They want to get it, more of it. They want to get more of it. Yes.
Is it bad to get more of it?
It's not bad to get more of it,
And then?
but at least have a good way of getting more of it.
Which is this good way?
Okay, I may say having a sponsor may not be bad to some of us, but to me it's wrong. You may have a sponsor, you know why you have him, you know the advantages of what you're getting and the disadvantages of what you are experiencing.
Right.
But it's like you don't know your worth.
Are you being so judgmental to people who do this stuff?
That's why I've said those people who have sponsor, not all of them do it for pleasure or do it for having a fake life, but most of them do it for a fake life.
Right.
Yes. Somebody may have a sponsor because he or she lacks, or he wants to get what she doesn't have, or she wants to pay the school fee or something, yes. But most of the ladies do it for a fake life.
Right.
Yes.
So having a sponsor for the right reasons is not bad.
It's
That's
not
what you're
bad.
not saying.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because on the other hand, also men take it as an advantage. Yes.
Okay.
Men now take it as a pleasure. They want to do it to satisfy themselves, because I give you money, you give me what I want.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Where does this lead us as a generation? Where does this lead us as a society? What are we trying to show to the people who are growing up, to the young ones who are growing up?
I may say something like having a sponsor cannot be rubbed off because our leaders are the same people leading us wrongly. Yes. So it's something that cannot be rubbed off. It's something that started, and I think it will never end.
Right.
Yes.
There is a problem with our morals, we as youths, we as the people who are growing up. And our morals takes and jets back to all these issues that are happening. Because if I was upright morally, I would not go ahead and look for a sugar mommy somewhere. How do we cure this mess?
That's why I've said the mess is so hard to cure. It will take a lot of time, a lot of responsibility, and a lot of empowerment to be done. Yes.
But as of now,
It's so hard, and I don't think it can be done off for now.
fasting and praying, can it work?
That will never work. Yes.
Right. Now, when we look at such cases of maybe a lady finding a sponsor out there to make ends meet, and we end up, we find some others that once that relationship gets into a bit of a situation, we find maybe a lady is found murdered somewhere. When you listen to such cases, and I know you've heard of them, even recently at there was that case of a certain lady at which institution is this? The Kenya. Yeah, right. We even covered that story. When you listen to such cases, what does it make you feel as a woman and as a lady?
I feel disappointed. Okay, I cannot express my feelings that much because you've told me I cannot judge. You see, you can never judge someone after an experience, but you can judge her before the experience.
Right.
But once it's done, the judgment won't be of importance. You see, yeah.
Maybe the sponsor may want a very genuine kind of relationship, but simply the ladies do that for their own material gain. That's where we end up having a misunderstanding that can lead for one to kill another. How do we get to balance between having a sponsor and making this stuff genuine? We are grown-ups, and there is need for relationships. How do we get to balance now between the two? We should not just do it for fun and getting money and getting stuff. We can also look the other side of having this genuine relationship here.
Okay. Once you have a sponsor, at least make him aware of what you want, and him also to make you aware of what he wants.
We should set boundaries.
Yes.
Clear boundaries.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Very true. I think it has fallen the rightful ears. And when we're talking about making ends meet and finding ways at which we can make our life better and getting this stuff that we all want so that we live a good life out there, there's the point of this whole idea of getting what we want in the rightful way. But then there's an aspect that comes on board here of resilience and taking the whole process as it should be. For instance, there is now that whole idea also of people wanting to be rich and live a good life, but they do not want to follow the kind of steps that are supposed to be followed. That nothing comes with, even Rome was not built in one day. There is a process at which somebody is supposed to take. And the process is so tedious, specific to the young generation, and they lack that resiliency and that patience to wait. Where did the patience go to, and how can we bring it back?
That's why I said, okay, for us youths for now, we need a lot of empowerment. We have to get the people who can talk to us, lead us the way. Yes.
And do you feel, why is it so that most youths do not want to follow the rightful procedure? Why are they so quick in wanting to live good lives at a very young age?
Peer pressure.
Peer pressure.
Yes.
this is not the first time you're talking about peer pressure. Do you feel like we are talking about something that we don't even know how we're going to make it end?
Ignorance.
From which
We
side?
ignore what we know.
Mhm.
Yes.
So you want
We
to
know
tell me
peer
people already
pressure.
know this stuff, they just ignore?
Yes. If I want to do something wrong, I'm doing it, I know it's wrong, but I ignore because I want to benefit from it. Yes.
How do we get the ignorance to go away?
Empowerment.
What is this empowerment that you're talking about? We should get loans somewhere or what?
Not laws. Okay, we have to be talked to, we have to be shown the right path. We have to be, okay, yes, we already know, but we should be told the ignorance will cost us a lot.
Right.
Yes.
When you are mentioning about empowerment, I think we have so many programs out there for the youth's empowerment. You know, we have sessions, we have workshops where youths go and have maybe talks, career-wise, spiritual matters, how to behave. You know, it's not the very first time we are having these kind of things.
That's why I've said, apart from being empowered, as youths, we have that mentality of ignorance and
Right.
peer pressure. Yes, we attend the occasions, we being told this and that, but at the end of the day, we ignore. After ignoring, the peer pressure ruins us.
Right.
Yes.
There is this thing called you only live once, the YOLO stuff.
Yes.
And it's part and parcel of every single youth out there, leave alone those who have realized themselves and they already know their worth. How dangerous is it saying and practicing the only thing called YOLO?
It drives you to do something of less your worth. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But of course, we only live once.
Yes,
Once
you
you're
only
dead,
live
you're dead.
once, but you should at least leave a legacy of you living once.
Who wants to die poor?
None.
Who doesn't want to enjoy life?
Nobody.
And then
But at least work for it.
work for it.
Yes. There are so many ways of working for it. That's why we said we should not be judgmental. Yes, we shouldn't be, but okay, yes, let me say I got a sponsor, yes, decided to do for me everything that I wanted, but have your due. Have your due. Like, I want to get a sponsor. Let me like say October. By November, I should be doing this. Let me just start my business. Niachane na sponsor. At least I may say, yes, I did it, but I got my capital, started this. Now I'm faring on well. Not that you want every now and then, you want everything that comes easier. It can't work that way.
Right.
Yes.
Do you feel the problem is the age bracket at which we are in, or the problem is that this generation and then the whole issue about technology, modernization?
Okay, I might not say. Okay, the age bracket is the problem. But another thing, the age bracket, I may say it's not the problem, because there are some women who has their husbands, but at the same time also have sponsors. Yes.
So you rule out the aspect of age.
Yes.
And modernization, does it play a role here?
Yeah, it plays a very big role.
How now do we get to balance between this modernization and living a good life, a very responsible life, a life that is supposed, a life that when somebody says you know your worth?
Okay. At least work on something that you want. Know what you want, work on something that you want, and have the life that you want.
Right.
Yes.
Does knowing your worth be equated to kukua mshamba? Because people say if you're straight, you do your stuff different from other people's whatever to do, they will call you mshamba.
That is just a compliment. Where will the compliment take you to? You still live and have the things that you want.
So you walk around knowing people call me mshamba and you're good with that?
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
There is this comedian called Mshamba. Yes. Where did the compliment take her to? he's famous, he has his own money for now. Yes, it's just like that. Somebody calling you Mshamba is just a compliment. At least you are doing something that somebody else cannot do. Live your own life. With that, the Shamba in you can take you somewhere. Yes.
Can you be comfortable with such name-calling things? You know, somebody comes and tell you, you know, you're Mshamba because you don't want to go party with us.
You've just made me recall something. You know, in school, when I walk, nobody can realize that I'm a Luo lady. But once I talk, everyone realizes that I'm a Luo lady. And they always tell me...
What do you say that once you walk?
When I always walk,
Luo ladies, how do they walk?
Nobody cannot realize. When somebody looks at me, they cannot realize that I'm a Luo lady.
Right.
But once I just speak, the accent of a Luo lady
they
comes
know
out.
you're from the lakeside.
Yeah.
Kwa baba.
Yeah.
Right.
And then somebody just tell you, and your Kiswahili is so bad. That's just a compliment, and I'm used to that. Yes.
And you have no problem with that?
I have no problem with that. As long as they can get what I want to say, or
Right.
they can get me well. Yeah.
How is it hard also to kind of get negative sentiments and feedback from people, and how easy is it to swallow, you know? Because most people feel like these negative complaints and compliments that you're talking about are the ones that are pushing us to kind of do stuff so that we can please people, so that they can give us positive compliments.
That's why I said have healthy interactions with people. At least know your group. At least know how you interact with your friends, how the friends of yours interact with you also. So that when you get the negative compliments, cannot get badly hurt. Ile ukwe temperamental, you see, yeah.
Right, very true. Now, let's shift gears now and look into how we can realize our potentials. As youths, as young ladies out there, as young women out there, you know, first thing first, can we realize our potential outside and out from issues about maybe you need to have a boyfriend for you to be somebody? Is that the case?
That's not the case. Having a boyfriend is just for pleasure, for luxury, to relax your mind, you see. There are some people that if they have the negative set of mind, at least when they have the opposite sex, they feel they are fine. Yeah.
And that's what is outside there. People say, like, you know, if for you to be a complete lady, for you to be a complete woman, you need to have somebody beside you. That's why it's pushing us to find people.
Opposite sex or just somebody beside you? What do you mean?
Maybe a boyfriend or a husband or something. Does that make a complete woman?
No, that doesn't make a complete woman.
Can you be successful in your life without necessarily having to be with somebody?
Yes.
How is it so?
Okay, there is something that's also it's always said that nowadays men have their class of women, and the first class of women are those successful women. And we can say successful women, they're successful without the help of the other gender.
Is it true?
It's true. It's true, very, very true. There are some women.
Do you have examples?
Examples.
And how far did they go with their success? You know, that's another thing as well.
There are ladies who make it outside here without men.
Okay.
Yes.
But then now, I ask you this simply because I need to understand. Can our young ladies who are growing up realize their potential with themselves alone without necessarily depending on someone? Is that what I'm asking? Is it possible to realize your potential, you alone?
According to this generation, I don't think so, because the first people are the parents we have. You see, the parents we have will want you to do what they want.
Right.
It has just ruled it out. Yes.
So the biggest mistakes that we have are our parents.
Our parents.
Do you feel like they are not leading us in the rightful direction?
Not all of them, but some of them.
Right.
Yes.
Are there any scenarios that you have, like you can give and explain such a scenario that you find?
This athletic that was killed just recently. How was she called?
Agnes Tirop?
Yes. What led to the death?
Right.
If the parents could have just allowed her to relax the mind, at least to know what she wants, she could have not gone back to the husband, and the husband could have not killed her.
Right.
Yes. The pressure of you wanting to be on the right side. They don't want the environment to talk about you. So you are just sending your child to the grave. You see, the parents.
Supposing a young lady is watching right now and she's wondering, how can I realize my potential? Because these people here are talking about us realizing our potential. We need to give them ways at which they can find their potentials inside them without necessarily meeting somebody, so that somebody can make them meet,
Connection.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you have to know what you want, who you are, and what you like doing. Personally, I love modeling a lot, and I love playing volleyball. So I have to work hard, I have to keep fit for modeling. At the same time, I have to be so energetic to be playing volleyball.
Right.
Yes.
So you work in that line.
Yes.
So once you realize what you want,
Do it at the most. Have that aggressiveness of doing it, knowing the skills, being so confident of who you are, and do it. Yes.
right, in that way you'll be now realizing your potential.
Yes.
As simple as such.
Yes.
Is that easy?
It's not easy. It's so hard.
What does it
There's
take?
so many challenges because, like, let me say, I have to go to my classes, I have to attend modeling sessions, I have to go and work out. It's so hard.
So hard.
Yes.
But before even we get to your line and journey of modeling, last but not least, what can you say to this kind of generation? I need you to speak a word to them and tell them how they can know their worth and also realize their potential. Makes a bit of sense.
Okay, I may say you have to know yourself as a lady, know what you want, do what you know best or what impresses you, and have an healthy interaction with yourself and your friends. That makes you so unique and so much important. And lastly, it makes you be successful despite the fact of not having money, not being educated, and not being employed.
Right.
Yes.
So you want to tell me success does not involve money, education, and
Yes. Success involves knowing your worth.
not necessarily money?
Yes.
Okay, that's another definition.
As a young lady, you cannot say you want to have money, yet you yourself, you cannot even know what you want.
Okay.
At least have the success in your mind to enable you do your things better.
Have the success in your mind. That's the punchline. You better post it on status. Mr. Director, do it. Now, knowing your worth is what has made you be what you are today. Is it true?
Yes.
How did you get to where you are?
Okay, the journey is so long with a lot of challenges and a lot of wanting to be who I am. And personally, I may say, sijakuwa mwenye nataka kukua.
You mean you still have a long way to go?
I have a long way to go, but then my due is almost coming to an end. So that's now the problem.
Where did this start from, this whole stuff of modeling?
Okay, once I was a kid, I used to see the journalists, the people on television, and say, oh, I also want to do that because I really loved walking in heels, you see. And then my mom was that business lady who used to sell the mitumba. So anytime the heels could be brought, and I was like, Mom, I want this. And she was like telling me, you know, you really have a lot of these shoes in the house but you don't even put them on. As long as umepiga tu nayo picha unazirudisha hapo. Nitachukua hizo viatu zote na nirudi niuze. And I was just like, hapana, wewe ndio tuchukue zile, I want this new one. Yes.
Right. So that's when you realize like you have
Still
a passion for
that,
it?
I never realized that I had the passion for modeling until when I used to see people modeling, like literally in the television. But I knew only those people who can do that are the wazungu, the white ladies, you see, because I felt only the white people used to have money at that time. So with time, I now started seeing people, the African, in the television also, and I'm one big fan of Adata Cage. Is one successful model.
Right.
Is one successful model. Like recently, she just bought her house in USA. Yes, and I really love the lady.
Right.
Yes.
She's kind of your role model in line of modeling?
One of my role models.
One. Yes. So that's quite a list.
Yes, I love Zonzi Tunzi from Miss South Africa.
Okay.
Yes.
And when now did you begin to practice it and become more serious with it?
I'm not that old in the industry. When the corona thing started, that's when I decided, acha ikuwe venye iko, me I'm going to work. Kama ni kuanguka acha nianguke nitajiokota. So I started modeling with the corona period. Yes.
Right. In campus or where?
Yes, in campus.
And how did you get to win the crown?
Okay, I may say this is not my first crown. My first crown, me being the face of our agency. I really felt the potential in me. I felt me being successful. I felt the confidence, the energy I had in the industry. Yes, so with that, it gave me that courage to go further. Yes.
And you enrolled for the competition?
Yeah.
How did you feel maybe once the announcement was made that you the Miss Toom 2021?
Okay, the competition was quite tough because none of my classmates, none of my friends knew I could be one of the competitors. Yeah. So, even...
Did you put it secret or what?
Yes, it was so secret because I felt I was so broke to have the attires. I couldn't even, sikuwa nimezeana na watu that much, you see. But now to creating the bond at the same time, you have to train at the same time, you have to look for the attires. It was just so exhausting.
Right.
And it needs a lot. Yes. But I just nearly catch up now. And I made it.
And I
really felt awesome. Yes.
So where do you look forward to with your crown now? Where are you headed to?
Okay. This is not my last crown. Yeah. Next year, God willing, I may be contesting for Miss World Kenya.
Miss World Kenya?
Yes.
Right. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Now, apart from modeling, now you mentioned in me that modeling does not necessarily involve walking through the runway or the aisle. What else do you do?
Okay, there are so many types of modeling, starting from that. There's commercial modeling, there is runway modeling, there is high fashion, and all of them pay. People say...
Which one is yours?
This is pageantry. Walking, you've said walking. Pageantry entails being elegant, having that beauty, being a role model for the people. That's all about pageantry. When you come now on high fashion, it entails being a brand, showcasing someone's attire or having that product, and you being paid. Commercial entails that the same, but now it is broken into different categories. Like you can be a face of something.
Right.
It's all about branding yourself. Yes.
Right. And Now that you miss TUM, how do kind of you balance between your studies and doing modeling?
Okay, everything has its own time. When it comes to classes, it's class time. Now you forget the mistum part of you and you become now, it's class work. Yeah, you have to acknowledge yourself like mistum ishie kwa mlango, now tuko kwa class. Yes. Tukifika uwanjani, you leave now the mistum and the class work. Now it's time for energy, you do this, it's time for ball work.
Right.
Yes.
Do you play volleyball?
Yes, I
You
play
do also workouts?
I do workouts like every day. Yes.
How is your schedule in a day?
Okay. In the morning, I wake up as normal, do my normal.
What time?
6.
6.
Yes.
You sleep? You sleep a lot.
Actually, I sleep a lot.
6. I expected something like 4:30.
Okay. 6. I wake up at 6, do my normal workouts, home workouts, just normal 1, 2, 3, and then done. I go bath, and then I have my part-time.
We have a program of workout. I normally see people jumping,
Yes, it's
lifting
not
their
all
legs here
about
and there.
jumping and lifting the leg. Yes, it entails a lot.
Okay.
Yes, you may decide, okay, today let me just do hand workouts, leg workouts, tummy. It depends with you what you want and your goals, your body goals.
Right.
Yes.
How key is your body fitness and your body shape and size in modeling? And how do you maintain it?
That also depends with what you want and the type of modeling you want and the goals you have on modeling. Like for me, I may say, okay, it's really kind of hard to maintain because I may say I should not be so much sifai kuwa mnene, that according to me, but it's not one of the compulsory laws in modeling, you see.
I've never seen a fat model. Where are
My
they?
goodness, oh my goodness. Nowadays there is something called plus size models. They have the body.
Or
yeah,
maybe it's a
plus-size
category on its
models.
own. The fat ones do the modeling.
Yeah.
Right.
So it depends with you what you want. There is Miss Curvis. There are different types of models.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, we are so grateful with whatever you're doing, and we're also grateful for coming through. Feel free anytime. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our show, but we do appreciate, and we do believe like the ladies out there will begin knowing their worth. Yes. Are you optimistic with that?
Yeah, I am.
Right. Very true. Do you have any sessions like you go around speak to the ladies?
Yes, we have something cooking. It's around the corner. We are supposed to go for a certain children's home. Yes.
Right. You it's a group or what?
Yeah. Okay. In our school, we train on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday models. So as models, we are going to do that.
Right.
Yes. Apart from that, we have also something cooking for the students, the TUM students, and then it's an awareness walk. Yeah.
You'll be walking.
Yes.
Where will
Around
the
the
procession?
school and KC Kachonjo. Yes, and then come back to school.
Right.
Yes.
Of course, we're looking forward to be part of your activities
Okay.
as Post TV. Thank you for coming through.